So the water's flowing into the skimmer pretty well. I set the filter in backwash and turned it on, so I'll let that run for a couple of minutes in backwash. It's a good idea to start the filter up in the backwash position. That way it fills the tank up with water, pushes the air out, and then backwashes the filter for startup. So I put the return eyeball in, and the skimmer basket is in place. I'll check the filter gauge. Filter gauge is reading about 18 pounds or something like that. That's normal for this pool. So there were a lot of worms in the bottom. I took the net and netted out most of them. You can still see some down there. There's some algae on the light. You can see the green color in the pool. So this pool was winterized in mid-November and used some algicide and chlorine, and it was clear and clean. I've put in 1 gallon of liquid chlorine about a week ago, and I put in about a pound of some granulars that I pre-dissolved about 3 weeks ago. And so it's prevented some algae growth, but not 100%. I used a submersible pump to circulate the water, since the pump for the pool filter wasn't running. So I put the pump right down on this end, and so that's probably why it's more clean than the other side. So to set up the vacuum hose to vacuum the pool, there's 2 ends. One end is a non-swivel end, and the other end has a swivel end. But the important thing is that the hose needs to be laid out straight along the edge of the pool. Then connect the vacuum hose to the vacuum head. Make sure that you've got the swivel end attached to the vacuum head. Then lower the hose vacuum head on it into the pool, and feed the hose in straight into the water. And what this is doing is it's filling the hose with water. So if you have air in the hose, you'll lose the prime on the pump when you plug it in. So this is an important step right here. Make sure that the hose gets filled with water. And you can tell if it's working out good, because when you get to the end of the hose, water comes out. Okay, so now water came out of the hose, and now I can take this hose and put it through the skimmer. I'm going to make sure one more time. Okay, now I can put it through the skimmer. So I've been vacuuming for a few minutes, and the vacuum seems to be working pretty good. You can see it picking up the algae and dirt. Not too bad. I'll probably have to backwash it sometime before I get to the finish on the pool, but for right now it's not doing too bad. This is about the right speed to go. If you try to go too fast, it just flops everything up. So I've been vacuuming for a while and sucking up some fairly heavy debris. and so there's quite a bit of stuff stuck in the pump, and so I think the pump is starting to cavitate a little bit, and you can see the flashes of air bubbles coming up to the top. It's kind of sparkling in the sun, so that's what I'm trying to show here. So those are air bubbles. It's not coming from the hose or anything like that. Kind of hear a little bit of a gravelly sound on the pump. So what's probably happening is that basket is full, creating a lot of suction, and actually making the impeller produce air through an action called cavitation. And you can kind of hear it in the valve. You can hear the popping sounds. And you notice the pressure was 18 when I started. A little while ago it was down about 8. And so that indicates that something's plugging up on the suction side. So I've been vacuuming the pool for a little while, and I think I've got about all I can get with this cycle on the filter, so I'm going to have to backwash it, I'm afraid. Clean the baskets. You can see that I got a lot of the algae out. And the color has improved a little bit, although the pool is a little bit, some of that algae goes through the filter, so where the water was a little more clear before, it's now a little bit more of a green tinge and more cloudy. But that's just because the filter can only take out so much in that particle size, and so some of the particles just go right through the filter and end up back in the pool. So that's what's giving it that green tint now. It's not because I stirred it up, it's just because I vacuumed it and some of the particle went through the filter. So let's see why that water was moving real slow. Ouch. There's something stickery in there. Probably some bushes. This is what I was sucking up out of the pool. A bunch of roly-poly bugs and worms and stuff. And so that was making the suction pull real hard and probably causing those air bubbles we were seeing in the pool earlier. So one thing I thought you might find interesting is these bushes I have around the pool. This debris will go through the basket. And so you find that stuff down in the bottom like this. Now last year I was having a lot more problems, so I made this tool, and I can actually reach back. It's just a piece of wire. And I can reach back into the impeller and pull debris that gets stuck in the impeller. I don't have any in there right now, but last summer I was having a lot of problems. So, but it was easy to fix. I just reached back in there, pulled that debris out, and then picked it out of the bottom of the basket area, just like that. One thing I could mention is, so you can see where I've filled this pump up so that the water is actually right to the top of the pump. So what I like to do is turn the valves off. So there's a valve for the skimmer and a valve for the main drain there. And then on the filter I turn it to the closed position. And that makes it so this pump will stay full of water when I'm working with it. And so I did add some more water to the pump after pulling out the basket and some of the debris and stuff. I put some water in the pump, but by closing those valves it makes it easier to prime back up, and the pump starts right back up real easy. So it's Friday morning and the pool's been running since Saturday afternoon. You can see that the water's cleared up quite a bit. And the main drain's working because it's collected some stuff around it. You can see the stuff trying to get in there. I'm going to take a look in the skimmer and see how that's doing. So we take off the lid here and just take a peek in there. Okay, so you can see that the water is moving, and the weir is causing this turbulence look to it, and that's what's making those plant material, you know, like the bush trimmings and the tree. You got a birch tree, so there's some birch tree stuff getting in there. So, but it looks like something's going on there. There's a weed stuff. Oh, what is that? There's a dead mouse, and it looks like the weir might have a stick hooked to it, so it's probably sticking. Yeah, there's definitely a stick there. Let's watch this stuff. See that go in there? So as the stuff goes by, the leaves and things like that, the weir causes that action, and it draws the, using the tension on the water, it draws the stuff into the skimmer. But the skimmer needs to be cleared out and maintained, so the stick needs to come out. Need to get rid of the dead mouse. And let's see, here's something else comes floating along here. Watch it. It's going to go right into the skimmer. So without the weir, that don't happen. It just floats right on by. So that's part of the process, keeping the pool clear and clean. Is the skimmer weir needs to be working, and when it's working, it floats up and down. And so I'm going to reach in here and just kind of show how that moves. So it should be able to move up and down, get rid of the mouse and some of the other stuff so that it works better. There's something else. See, it just went right in there. Now the mouse is down in the basket. So the pool filter's been running for a few days. I've had some sparkle up in there, which is a filter aid to help it filter smaller particles like algae. The pressure's gone up. It started at 16 pounds, so it's gone up a little bit. So it's time to backwash. Backwash procedure is really simple. So what you do on this pool, and most of them, is you turn the power off, rotate the handle to the backwash position, and you turn the power back on, and you do that for 2 minutes. And so in my pool, it's flushing down the then I turn the power back off. I rotate the filter into the rinse position, which is, and then just there. Then I turn the filter on again. And I let it rinse for about half a minute or so. Then I turn the filter off again and rotate the handle back into the filter position. Turn the filter back on. So I didn't let it run the full 2 minutes, but that's what you should do, is let it run 2 minutes to clear out all the debris that's collected on the filter. You might find it amazing, but the some of the stuff like grass blades, bush trimmings, pine needles and things can actually go right through the basket. And when they go through the basket, they get down into this area where the impeller is. So the impeller is right back here, and behind here. It's about 3 or 4 inches back normally. And so on my pool, I have to clean that out once in a while, especially after the lawnmower man's been here, because he likes to blow all the grass right into the pool. So I made this tool, so it's got a little hook on the end of it, and it's just about the right length. And I stick it down into where the impeller is, and then I just pull out any debris that gets stuck in there. And so I can rotate it around and pull it out. this time there's no debris in there, which is nice. But during the summer when everything's growing like crazy, some of that grass that you see inside there actually lodges right into the impeller and cuts down the flow to the pump. So I turned the pool back on, and normally when you turn the pool back on and it's in filter position, you'll see some air bubbles bleeding out of the top of the filter tank. So that's kind of what's making that foam. And you can see a water disturbance off about 10 feet, 10 to 15 feet is usually a good indicator that the eyeball position is turned the right way. So if you can see it, it's kind of hard to tell, but it's pointed slightly down and along the direction that I want the pool to circulate. You can see the water disturbance there from the eyeball. Okay, so the water's circulating again. It's back in filter position, and it's still a little cloudy, so the next thing I'm going to do is put in a little bit of this filter aid. So it's a powder material, and I'm going to put it right into the skimmer and let it get drawn into the filter, and this is going to help clear up the pool. So this allows the sand filter to take out smaller particle sizes, and so what I do is I just put it in there and kind of mix it around a little bit so that it gets drawn into the filter. Now this will do two things. It'll help improve the filtration system, and it also tests whether or not your filter's working. So after I put that in, I go look at the return eyeball and I just watch it. And if there's a cloud of water, a cloud coming out here, then that means that that powder that I just put in did not get stopped in the filter like it was supposed to. And if that happens, there's something wrong with the filter. So it identifies a problem. If the problem don't exist, which it doesn't in my pool, you can see there's no white cloud coming out of this, then that means I've improved the filtration and the water will clear up quicker. You can see that it's all been drawn out of the skimmer, so now it's caught in the filter tank. Next thing I did was test the water. So I dipped this test strip in the water. I waited about 15 seconds and compare the color. And this is the chlorine, this would be bromine if I'm using bromine, pH, and total alkalinity. So you compare that to the color chart, and by comparison, you can tell that those numbers are in the okay zone. So what I'm going to do next is take the pool brush and go around and brush the algae spots. I'm going to brush the whole pool actually. But I've already vacuumed the pool several days ago, but there's places that the vacuum miss, like where them algae stripes are. And so the only way to finish this out is going to be to get the pool brush out and brush those areas so that the algae gets put up into the water. It removes the biofilm that's protecting the algae so that the chlorine can take care of it, and any other algae prevention chemicals that I decide to put in. So what the pool brush is doing is it's brushing up this algae, and you can kind of see the cloud form right after I push that brush. The brush works better in the forward motion, so I don't even try to brush by pulling it back. I just push it forward only. You can see that stuff get brushed up into the water. So without this process, this pool won't clear up, and it won't be crystal clear and blue colored water. My water won't actually be blue anyway because it's got a black background, but it'll be crystal clear. And all this algae will be gone. I can hear my filter talking to me. My pool has turned real clear. I pretty clear anyway. After yesterday I brushed the pool, then I put some sparkle up in and backwashed the filter, and so today I can hear the filter making some noise, and usually that indicates that the pressure's up pretty high. You can hear the sound, and yeah, the pressure is higher than I normally see it, so that sparkle up has caused the filter to pick up all them little tiny particles, and that's why it's making that whistling sound. So I'll backwash it. Okay, so I backwashed the filter and turned it back into pool filtration condition. And that noise has stopped. You don't hear that popping sound coming from the valve anymore. The pressure is back down to normal starting pressure, which on this pool is about 16, I think. So this is 1 week of cleanup. So after a week of running the pool, I opened it last Saturday. This is Saturday a week later. So I vacuumed the pool and brushed it. I've backwashed the filter 2 times. Used Sparkle Up to in between the filter cycles to get rid of the small debris. I tested the water a couple of times. I've added 2 gallons of liquid chlorine, and I brushed the pool real good yesterday, and it's looking pretty good. It's a little hazy, but not very bad at all. So the next project is this. So I'll finish cleaning up the waterfall and get it going. So I added a half a bottle of pool opening complete, and whatever's in that bottle, which is alum, I believe, is made a little bit of a cloud. I don't know whether you can see that very well, but it has made the water a little cloudy right where it was poured in. So I poured it all in one spot, and it tells you to walk it around the pool. So I didn't put it in like the directions said. And the main reason I did that is I wanted to see if it was going to do this. Make a cloudy look to it. Looks like it'll dissipate pretty quick. And it'll probably filter out all that stuff that it's reacting to. So the pool's pretty clear now, but I bet it'll get a lot clearer after putting this in. Well, looks like the pool opening complete did a nice job. There's a little bit of dirt right on some of these edges. That's probably just from passing through the filter. But boy, you can sure see the bottom. It's crystal clear. See every little roly-poly bug down there? Everything.